Hello, fellow homebrewers. JP here, and I want to introduce to you the brand new Brew-Built X1 Conical Series available at More Beer. More Beer sells the highest standard in homebrewing equipment, and the Brew-Built Conicals are just that. They're made from mirror-polished 304 stainless steel, and they come with loads of features that you and I have been looking for. They have a full 2-inch bottom dump valve, which will eliminate your clogging issues, while the sturdy base includes 4 reinforced legs, just like those big Pro tanks do. More Beer also carries the Brew-Built line of options and add-ons like casters, pressure kits, and even external glycol chillers. So you can find out more about the new Brew-Built X1 Conical Unitanks by going over to morebeer.com for detailed videos on the entire line of Brew-Built Conicals. You can trust Brew-Built with your next fermentation, and you can trust More Beer to find the right conical for you. Brew-Built at morebeer.com.
Technology is not always your friend, folks. Just wanted to know that.
Oh, boy.
Remember that in life. Your good Uncle Justin says, your fun Uncle Justin says, technology is not always great. After years of analog mixing boards, I switched to a digital mixing board here in the beautiful Brewing Network studio. And it fucks with you still.
Once I saw you go underneath the desk, I turned to these guys here and I said, it's going to be a long night. You just lock in.
Right.
Get another beer. We're going to be here for a while.
Welcome to the studio. My co-host for tonight, Mr. Sean Sully O'Sullivan. Welcome back, Sully.
It's great to be back. It's been a long time. I can't even tell you the last time I was here.
No,
last time I saw you in person.
That's true. You have done the show without me, which I appreciate so much. You helped JP out a whole bunch.
I did him out of my kitchen on Zoom. That was, or whatever it was.
Right.
That was,
And I'm now on a Zoom boycott. So so you'll notice there are fewer shows than normal. I tend to stack them up because I'm only doing in-studio shows right now.
And I think we have to get back to it.
That's what I'm trying to do. I'm fed up with Zoom.
I mean, the pandemic's over, right? We talked about that earlier. People are back. Everybody's coming back.
Everybody's out and spending a lot of money again, right?
They are. They're
at somebody's bar, not mine. People are out doing things again.
They are.
Moksa Brewing Company is in the studio with us. Derek and Corey are back. Thank you guys for being here.
Glad to be here.
Appreciate it. It's been a couple years at least.
4 years.
4 years.
They're not counting, but it's been 4 years.
No, right. we were here when we were like 10 days old.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
I don't remember that being the case. And what's funny about that too is because people were just already talking about you too. And that's why we wanted you on the show. So you had a lot of hype going on.
Yeah, there was some excitement before we opened. A lot of t-shirts being sold, people wearing it everywhere, and people were just questioning who we are.
Right.
And opened up and hit the ground running.
Well, now we're going to find out if all the hype is real.
That's why we're here today. It's an intervention.
4 years
is the hype real.
We're going to check in on it and see. But I'm glad you guys are in the studio. Right off the bat, I've already got one of your beers in my glass. Thankfully, a West Coast IPA called Jovi, right? Tell us about this beer. What hops? I think I wrote them down even.
So it's a West Coast IPA, 6.7%. Hops are hand-selected Strata and Mosaic, as well as Mosaic Incognito. Just very pale grist bill, heavily hopped, and just a showcase of really great American hops.
It's a great beer.
It's amazing. Honestly, I hadn't had a sip of it until you just started talking about it. I wanted to wait, and that's just unbelievable.
It's nice, right? I went and picked up beer for this event, drove up to Rockland. That's where Moksa is, folks, if you want to go check them out. And Derek gave me a 4-pack of this for myself. And it's gone already. I just picked it up the other day, and it was just too good. I drank the whole 4-pack over the weekend.
I mean, it's bright. It's got nice bitterness to it, but it's not too aggressive. The hop flavor and aroma are just out of this world.
Yeah. And Strata. I'm a big Strata fan right now.
Yeah.
Right? Sully, are you guys using this hop too?
I've been using it at the pub. I'm back brewing at the pub.
You are?
Yeah. We don't have
Nice.
to. That could be a whole episode in itself. I don't want to take away, but
Okay, we have a lot to talk about. Let me do a couple quick things and we just get right. I was telling everybody before the show, that this is a tight ship we run around here
I know.
now.
Stay on course.
Yeah, exactly. I did want to say thanks to all the brewers who participated in Spring Brews Festival, yourself included, Sully. I know it falls every year on your anniversary party, I think, up at Moksa. Isn't that what it is?
Yes, it did again.
Yeah.
It was our member party where we just, our members are allowed to bring them and their friends, and we all pitch in to buy a venue and have the biggest bottle share basically in America.
Wow.
Yeah, it was about 300 something people.
Right.
We had a DJ. We provided some lighter beers, but everyone's bringing their stouts, everything they've been saving up to share during the pandemic. They all brought out that day.
Oh, wow.
Just had one huge rager.
That's awesome.
I always get all hurt when brewers don't accept my invite to the beer festival, and yourselves included. But no, then someone told me who was like going to it. They're like, because they had to choose between my fest and your event, and they chose your event too. And the guys telling me about it, I was like, oh yeah, that's acceptable. That's a really good excuse to know. That sounds like a really good event.
You were okay after you heard that.
Yeah. Then I stopped making insulting comments about Moksa.
You stopped screaming at him.
Yeah. But the beer festival went very well. Definitely we were a little rusty after 2 years away.
Trying to figure it out, probably.
Yeah, and I think people and brewers are still trying to figure it out. So we had about 10 or 15 less brewers than normal. And I actually attribute a lot of that to, some of you had other events, but others said yes in the beginning and then kind of came back and said, you know what, we're still understaffed. We can't even
Staffing
be
was a
there
huge
that
issue.
day. And so I really kind of felt for brewers like that just to keep the tasting room open, we can't go to your event. We're so sorry.
Yeah, we have that same problem with the 21st Amendment, just trying to get enough staff to, pull a shift.
Yeah. So I really felt for that. There was a couple breweries, but we had over 50 breweries still came out. But we also had, I think people still really are trying to get their heads around this thing. So our event, of course, is outdoor, but we probably had 1,000 less people this year, and I misjudged that. I thought people just raring to go. It's outdoors, no big deal. I was actually expecting, busier than ever, and we're still learning about this stuff and how people are reacting, because I think a lot of people were just still like, I don't know, man, 2,000 people, even if it's in a park, we're all just shoulder to shoulder drinking beer. I don't know.
And if you haven't done that for a while, that's understandable.
Yeah.
Other places it's like a free for all. Mm-hmm. And like I live in Berkeley, and people are still wearing masks to the gas station.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of learning experience, and then definitely, did Bevo and I had this event dialed in. Man, 2 years off, you just forget. You forget everything. Or maybe because I had COVID, I have COVID brain. Isn't that a thing that you have now? I don't know.
You could blame it on that.
Everybody had COVID brain then, because none of us, we were all like chickens with our heads cut off.
Yeah. But it was a great event, and I just wanted to thank all of those that did come out. We did raise money for our nonprofit, the TSBA, the Arts Foundation, and it was great to see everybody in the park again. It was great. The brewers were just so happy again. And I think it did start to feel like something normal. Like, hey, if the Spring Brews Festival is back, we were always like the start of the season.
Yeah, an indicator that things are getting better. So it's going to build.
Yeah, I hope so. So that was, I was happy about how it turned out and happy that people came out. So I just wanted to say thanks to all of you for being a part of that. And thanks to our sponsors. White Labs was a sponsor of ours, as always, and it was great to have them. And More Beer, who always chips in there. They're on our glassware again this year. So yeah, thanks to our sponsors who helped us out, including Bats Sanitation, who gave us a great deal. So any of you planning events, again, if you haven't gotten through this already, good Lord, have prices gone up, just like everything else in your life. But I mean, in a ridiculous way. It's not even justifiable. Ice, for example. Can someone please talk to me about the ice shortage? Like, what is
Ran out of water.
What is the supply chain issue with ice? Ice
Well,
bags.
there's toilet paper, there's gasoline price, and then there's ice.
And the ice, you freeze it right here. It's not being shipped. I didn't buy ice from Alaska. I bought fucking Richmond ice.
It might have been cheaper to buy it from Alaska and have it set.
And so all of our costs went up, but some of them just made me kind of lose my mind. Ice here's what they did. It's twice as expensive per bag, but the bag is smaller too.
Oh, shit.
Okay, you all been doing this for a while. When you go to a beer festival, you get a couple 20-pound bags of ice.
Some guy brings them on a dolly and drops them off here, and that's it.
16 pounds now.
Yeah.
That's the number, I guess. I don't know why. Was there a plastic bag shortage that you could only get 16-pound bags maybe? And double. So we paid a fortune for ice.
But if you go to Costco,
yeah,
which still sells 20-pound bags, by the way.
So someone's got bags.
It is $3
a bag.
$3 a bag.
What do we pay?
$9.
Oh, my God.
$8. We paid $8.
I thought we paid 10.
No, I went with the other company that we had never used before because they quoted less.
Oh, yeah. Another company, the one everyone uses, right? Glacier or whatever. I don't mind saying their name. Fuck them.
Yeah.
They are like, they give us the price quote, but they won't guarantee a delivery. So we're like, so we need it on this morning, like by 10 a.m. at the
day of your event.
Yeah. And they're like, yeah, no, we can't really guarantee a delivery window.
But then...
And I'm like, well, the event's over at 4. They're like, yeah, no, we don't have a window for you. What?
Ice won't be ready.
At 7 o'clock in the morning, they called me and they're like, we're here with your ice delivery. And I was like...
We canceled you.
I didn't even
You got canceled.
an order. What are you talking about?
Glacier's canceled. I'm calling it right now. Canceled.
It was a freaking... That set the tone for my day.
Yeah. Anyway, just a bunch of stuff like that was kind of strange. I don't know. There's a toilet shortage.
Porta potty?
Yeah.
What?
Those prices are quadruple per unit. And so one of the things, a weird thing to talk about, I guess, but one of the things I pride myself on in our beer festival, it was always, it was priority number 2. Priority number 1 was get like all the most unique beer we can get.
Yep.
Priority number 2, I don't like lines for bathrooms. I want to walk up and go pee. So we've always had this like wall of porta potties along the entire park, right? Well, no big deal. They used to be $10, $15 a shot.
They were
$50.
Oh, wow. So you got 4.
Yeah, we're like, sorry, you're standing in line.
Now,
corner.
you're like a line guy now. Before you ate it, now you're like, maybe I'm a line guy.
I'm like, well, lines aren't so bad, are they? Yeah. So anyway, we ran into a bunch of stuff like that. And this is whatever. I hate stupid phrases like the new normal, but I'd rather call it the new stupid. Ice. Come on. I'm never going to get over it. I won't get over it. And the price is never going back down. So now I have a whole lifetime to complain about ice.
It sounds like you need to make a run to Costco.
So the first ice guy, that's what he said. He goes, you're better off driving around and getting ice. I'm like, bro, I need 500 bags of ice.
I don't think you understand how much ice I need, sir. And also, when would you like me to do this? And where would you like me to put it?
Yeah. Craziness. Overall, a success. Lots to learn. Speaking of beer events, there is another great festival coming up. It's have you been to the Livermore Beer Festival? The Livermore Valley Craft Beer Festival, also after a 2-year hiatus, is back on.
I hear they don't have a problem with ice there.
Yeah, Livermore ice is perfect. I don't know. It's happening May 7th from 1 to 5. It's just $50 in advance or $60 at the door. It was the same for us. And, there's always those of you out there who complain about the cost of a beer festival. I'll tell you right now, we and the Livermore Valley Craft Beer Festival are always the cheapest one. And look, it's expensive to put these things on. As I just explained, it always was. Our prices did not raise commensurate with our costs. So, don't complain about that. Could you go get yourself drunk for less at a bar? Maybe, but not with that many brewers and breweries in one place. And you're walking around out in the sunshine and there's live music and you might not have to stand in line to go pee. Like, So cut anybody some slack when you start complaining about prices. It's really a fantastic deal. You could also get VIP access at the Livermore Valley Craft Beer Festival. You simply got to buy the VIP ticket, and that gets you in an hour early. And you get to hang out with the brewers a little bit more. So it's really for a great cause. It's actually the proceeds go to a nonprofit that gets kids to and from the nearest Shriners Hospital for Children in Livermore. So you're drinking for a good cause. Your $50 to $60 is not going in somebody's pocket. It's helping kids who need to get to the Shriners Hospital. So where can you go to learn about all of this? Go to lvcbf.com. Go to LVCBF, stands for Livermore Valley Craft Beer Festival.com. You can find them on Facebook too, and you can get your tickets there. It's a great event. I've been there, and they always really do a great job. You can also go to livermore.beer if you can't remember that. Just go to livermore.beer, and you'll get all of the latest info on that. Okay. And then if you're looking to support the Brewing Network, and, we always need it, you can still donate through PayPal. Just hit the donate button on our homepage. You can do something even simpler. Just shop through Amazon by clicking the Amazon link on our page. And then anything you purchase helps us out. So great ways to do that. And then you can always send your feedback to feedback@thebrewingnetwork.com. This will be the first feedback I've done since being back in the studio, Sully.
Wow. Here we go.
Feedback's brought to you today by Beer Law Center. Go to beerlawcenter.com. John still takes care of me, and he can take care of you. beerlawcenter.com. All right, Timo, who says he's a corporal in the BN Army Munich division.
Oh.
Yeah, thanks for writing in and supporting us, Timo.
I'll be in Munich at the end of May.
Oh, is that right? Oh, yeah. I got to ask you about going to Paris, too.
Okay.
Our friend Yan is having his breweries, which another thing, time flies by, his brewery's 10-year anniversary in Paris. And he wants us to go there and hang out with him. So I'll talk to you about that.
Okay.
All right. Timo says, I know you like concise feedback, so here you go. Long time, first time. Thanks for all the years of entertainment and messing up my garage. Best of show beginning of COVID was great idea. It went through all the shows since 2005, and what a funny mess it was. Question, what happened to the Sour Hour? Did Scott break his soundboard? So the Sour Hour, Scott has left the Brewing Network and the Hop Grenade for that matter. And Jay, his co-host and really the magic of the Sour Hour, is on an extended, potentially permanent hiatus from the show. I'm still trying to work out some kind of a last hurrah type of a show because I don't think Jay feels like it got like a proper ending. But, life has moved on for him. And so I don't know that the Sour Hour is going to come back as it was. But I am still hoping to get one last good hurrah of a show out of him. So I apologize for that. Jay does still get his email through the Brewing Network, which is just sourhour@thebrewingnetwork.com. Feel free to say hi to him or whatever. But I don't know that show is going to come back as it was. If anything changes, I will let you know. And then he wants me to get in contact with a German brewery called Frau Gruber. And he says they're maybe the most progressive German brewery. And they'll be at this year's Firestone Invitational, which I heard you're attending. Is that right, Derek?
Yeah, I found a ticket as an attendee.
Nice.
So any brewers out there that will let me cut the line, I would greatly appreciate that.
Oh, heck yeah. You can cut the line with me. It'll be fine.
I've never been to that festival.
Oh, is that right?
I've never been invited either.
Not as an invite or as an attendee.
And I'm good friends with Matt.
You were in the wedding or at the wedding.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
Every time every time I see the list.
Yeah.
You guys should start doing this too. Every time I see the list and I don't see my name, I send him a text immediately and I say, who do I have to blow to be part of this festival?
Right. And does he answer?
He has no idea how to respond to that. He's from the Midwest.
New phone, who's this?
Yeah, exactly. It's always, yeah. I go there because they need me to do their interviews for them. They hired another guy 1 year that I couldn't make it. And they said it was a disaster. Turns out I'm still the only guy who can speak in public and craft beer. I don't know.
You're the guy. You got it cornered.
I got the market cornered. So he says they'll be there. Derek, we're going to have to check out Frau Gruber.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
When we're there this year and talk to them. He says they make killer IPAs and fantastic lagers.
And they have a slushy machine.
And they might, that's your claim to fame right there.
Yeah.
Let me do one more feedback. And then this one's from Luke. He says he's great to hear me back on the session. Enjoying my style and line of questioning. So thanks, buddy. And he says, I just finished the Arizona Wilderness podcast. There are 3 of us that homebrew together and would be interested in the links I discussed about how to prepare, package, and ship your beer to a contest. So yeah, I remember saying that Brendan Goff, now of Liquid Gravity Brewing Company, has this whole routine when he packages beer to send to competitions. And he's done quite well in competitions. So I'm pretty sure the podcast you're looking for that info was when he was with Central Coast Brewing Company. So if you go to thebrewingnetwork.com, there's a search function on the top right. Click it. Type in Central Coast Brewing Company. That's when Brendan was a brewer there. And I think he spent a good amount of time in that interview talking about how he packages beer. Do you do anything different on like to package beer to send to competition, Derek?
Right now we have a C box which measures dissolved oxygen in there. So after our canning runs, right away we take out cans, measure them, and weigh them, and make sure that we're sending the best that we can. If we have to bottle some off because they're not part of a can run, then we'll bottle it and make sure that we're purging the hell out of the cans or the bottles.
The bottles, yeah.
Filling them pretty high and not leaving a lot of room for air, or as little as possible.
And that was his main deal. I think he only sends bottles, and it was just like, he gave a lot of details, but purge was like the key. He's like, when you think you've dumped enough CO2 in there, you haven't yet.
Exactly.
You know, and just, make sure they're as fresh as possible. I think he would usually schedule that those are being bottled right off the tank and not even out of kegs at that point. So it wouldn't be like later on. But don't take my word for it. Go search the Central Coast Brewing Company on the Brewing Network. And give that a listen. I know the homebrew competition is coming up. So, which I'm entering.
You're entering a homebrew competition?
I'm entering I'm entering a beer into the national homebrew competition for the first time ever.
What?
What did you brew?
I haven't brewed it yet. But me and Chris Graham have been hanging out and talking beer again. We're turning into beer nerds again. Remember the years I spent hating beer, Sully, in the last couple years?
Yeah.
I like it again.
You're back into it. That's awesome.
Into it again.
Chris Graham is doing it again. He's got videos out of more beer. He's climbing the top of Mount Whitney.
And brewing there. It's weird. So we got to talking and hanging out, and I was like, man, what do you think? And he's been brewing kind of regularly. Yeah. And I said that we should brew one of Tasty's recipes, his Dortmunder, in fact. Yep. And just for fun, I just wanted to brew. But it happens to coincide, entries are being accepted, I think, to the homebrew right now. So I was like, why don't we enter it? How weird would it be if we won a medal?
Are you allowed to do that, Justin?
Why? Because I'm broadcasting the awards?
Well, that might be a possibility.
And the winner is me.
I won again. I didn't even enter this category.
I know. I'll take this award too.
Right. I might get slapped for doing that. It'd be weird up there. I'm allowed to do that. I'm not a judge or anything.
I know.
Am I? I'm also the head judge.
It's really awkward though if you won and you're just
I think so too, but
I'm so flattered.
But Derek, I really like the awkward moments, especially on stage. When we were winning Homebrew Club of the Year for several years, we started getting booed. I was like, yeah, fuck you guys, bring it. And so I also think it would be weird and awkward, and that's what I like about it. Also, because I have to leave I'll be broadcasting, and I'm just going to leave the stream running and go accept my award.
Yeah, you will win, and then you have to do it and come back and
I'm going to give a speech, which you're not allowed to do.
Because you have the microphone.
Give me that microphone. God, I'd like to thank
you so much.
Doesn't it sound fun though? What if I win?
Sounds awful.
And if I win, it'll be completely Chris Graham's fault. Let's be honest.
You should put down his homebrew club.
Yeah, exactly. Anyhow,
that's exciting.
I'm excited about that. You can get your tickets for HomebrewCon, by the way, right now. Just go to homebrewcon.org. Okay. Slushy machine. I know I'm bouncing all over the place here, but I go to Moksa for the first time. This is a couple years ago now, and there's a slushy machine in the corner.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, what's the deal with this? And he's like, well, it's actually pretty popular, and it's great on a Sunday. It's kind of like your mimosa type of drink on a Sunday morning, right?
We'll sell almost a keg a day with that slushy machine over.
So we're
kidding? Preparing our schedule to supply the slushy machine over everything else.
Driving everything.
We have to make sure that's the beer that we don't run out of.
Yeah, those are easily the number one selling item.
That's crazy.
Running.
What goes into the slushy machine?
Usually the sours.
Okay.
The sours, but then in order to have the consistency that we want, so it's not too slushy or like icicle like.
Yeah.
To reduce the ice crystals, we add some sugar into it.
I see.
And it does taste better. But then if you think about what goes into a slush machine, it's basically syrup. It's sugar.
Right. It's
sugar syrup. So that's what you have to kind of create with the beer.
Okay.
So sour beer works great in it. We've done a stout as well, which was okay, but really the fruited sours, imperial sours. So
okay.
we got like rosés or inspired beers.
Yeah.
Just berry forward beers, just something super fruity, frozen on a hot day, just like hits the spot.
It's perfect. And it doesn't get it's like 110 degrees up there in Rockland. So it's perfect.
Exactly.
Do you ever add just like fruit juice? Like, do you make a mimosa, just add OJ, or is it always like a syrup to get more sugar?
We did that a couple times early on. We'd buy these big boxes of fruit puree and just dump it in like 50-50 with the beer.
Okay.
But turns out it's a lot of work. So
sure.
This sugar
and
tastes
way
great.
more expensive than sugar.
I see. Okay.
Sugar.
A keg a day.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's a mountain of beer.
We started with one spout, and then we had to upgrade to two because we would run out, and then we would have to refill and tell everybody like order one more beer and come back, and maybe it'll be ready. So now we have one gain frozen and one gain drained, and then we just kind of switch back and forth.
That's
so
amazing.
It's
I love it.
How are you serving it? In a pint glass?
10 ounces.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
10 ounce snifters.
And are they usually higher alcohol beers too? Because
That's
of your
just
sours?
what we make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Usually our imperial sours anywhere from 8 to 10% already.
Okay.
So they lend well to being frozen and kind of just smoothing out all those flavors.
That makes sense. All right, let's do this. We're going to take a quick break. We only take 2 breaks now, Sully. Too.
Only 2?
Oh, man, we get through this.
What's going on here? It's like you're a sprinter now. You used to be a marathon runner.
Yeah. We're going to take a very quick break, and when we come back, more from Moksa Brewing Company. Hang in there. Welcome back to the session. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. And we are getting through things with Moksa here. We're just talking about some of their beer names. You can go to moksabrewing.com and follow along if you like. They got a bunch of their beer names up there. My favorite one so far being Turbinator 2 Judgment Haze.
Yes.
I just want to make a commercial for you guys with that name.
That'll be great. You direct it. We'll star in it. Yeah. Cameo. It'll be great.
Perfect.
Every once in a while, a pun name is so good that we just have to do it.
You got to use it. Right?
We don't normally, we try to stay away from puns, but we're like, it has to have this like minimum amount of laughter that comes from it. That like, okay, that works. That sticks. We got to run with it.
10 on the pun meter.
Yeah. See, I'm with you on that. It can't be like, I hate it when people go, happy birthday. Like, fuck off. Like, it's, make it, if it's a funny movie name pun or something, then it's good. Right?
Sean down there is a really good buddy of mine too, who created Happy Birthday with his dad, right?
I just, when people like say it on Facebook, like, you're a beer guy, I should make a beer pun. Happy birthday.
Good one.
So, but otherwise, you guys, did you say you kind of use like a thesaurus to get beer names?
Oh, absolutely. Or a really good thesaurus now that I found was wordhippo.com.
Oh, yeah. I've seen that.
Great thesaurus.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great for beer names.
That's awesome. Because it's hard to, you guys make a lot of different beers. It's hard for everybody, but you guys make a ton of different.
We have core styles, but not really core beer. So we like, what's the next IPA? And it's either we create one, which we're doing more often now that we're 4 years old, but from the beginning, it's like, all right, let's come up with a new name.
Yeah.
The first 3 things are taken. All right, onto the thesaurus we go.
Okay. That makes sense. So the next beer in our glass then is Tail Dust, I think, right? Is that what we got?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Which is a hazy IPA. Tell us about this beer.
This is among the latest iterations of our hazies. They're always evolving, but this particular one is made with Nelson and Comet hops. It's the exciting thing about this one is it features a yeast we get from Berkeley Yeast Company called Tropics, which is built to drive thiols in the finished beer, which are sort of like complex fruity flavors. And one other thing that we actually tried out on this beer is a product that they're working on. I think they call it Thiol Boost.
Yeah, we named
which
it.
Is
nice.
It's just a jar of liquid thiol precursors that we just pour in the beer. And the yeast is bioengineered to transform those flavors into excessively fruity flavors that really just takes it to another level. So this is the first beer that we tried that on. and we're really happy with the results.
And so there's no fruit added to this beer.
No.
Wow.
It smells like weed.
It does smell
I think you
good.
said that.
It
earlier.
was, the initial, like, it smells like weed, but you swish it around, it kind of opens up more of the like fruitier flavors than the dank.
It's really nice.
And then another thing with that that thal boost and with this yeast is it has a longer lasting flavor of tropical fruits. So as the Nelson and Comet kind of go away, you still have a lingering fruity aftertaste, and that's those thiols that are in the that are produced from the yeast that stick in the beer. So this, in a sense, could have a longer lasting shelf life, or beer doesn't sit around too long. But say, for example, you have this and somehow found it on the back of your fridge a month later or so, it'll hopefully still taste good because of those longer lasting flavor compounds that we are producing with this new yeast and new product.
I see. It's delicious. This is very different than I think any hazy I've had. It's got all the things people are looking for, right? That it's fruit juicy, right? It's got all the juiciness to it. It does not have a firm bitterness. It's got a light bitterness.
Yeah, it lingers. I mean, just what you were saying. It's just full, like a full flavor all the way through to the end.
And other people can buy this yeast and the.
Not the thal boost. The thal boost is under trial. We're working on it.
Okay,
we were part of the experiment to see how it performs. We're yet to. We'll send this to them this week so that they can get some feedback on it. But it's kind of amazing that they can dial in these flavors with these precursors.
How do you add that?
We add it during fermentation.
Okay.
So we added first day of fermentation, and it was crazy before. So dropping out the yeast before we dry hopped. It's just then we were taking gravities after the beer was done fermenting, but yet to be dry hopped, it was so fruity. It was crazy how much fruit characteristics. It tasted like and smelled like a dry hopped beer without any additional hops in it.
That's wild.
Yeah, and then we just assaulted it with more hops.
Yeah, I was going to say, are you using less? Can you actually like?
Oh, you totally can,
Okay.
but that's not our style. It's just it's just bonus.
Yeah.
right. It's really good. I think it was you, and I came back from the brewery like astonished by this. Don't you centrifuge your hazy beers?
Mm-hmm.
I knew it was you. So I came again during COVID in the early days to pick up beer, and we just had this brief conversation, and you said, oh yeah, well, after I centrifuge. And I was like, what? How could he do that to a hazy beer? And I've now had mixed reactions from other brewers. Some of them completely amazed, like me, like what? And others, really knew what you knew, like, oh yeah, no, that's something you can do because we're not trying to leave all that like matter in the beer. We're trying to leave haze, which doesn't have to be matter, like, thick stuff. Yeah. So
polyphenols.
Yeah.
You could manipulate the centrifuge run to where you run it in faster and slow the bowl down. So it's taking out the yeast and the hop matter, but leaving the haze. If you ran it in there, kept the beer in the bowl longer and faster, it can clear it up. But
I see.
There's just ways that we can have a centrifuge to clarify beer and also just to take away hop matter, but keep all the haze and all those polyphenols still in solution.
You're losing the bite basically from the green matter and the yeast.
Okay.
Yeah, it allows us to put a beer in the bright and it be drinkable immediately rather than a week later.
I see.
It's saved 3 to 5 days on each beer, paid for itself in 10 months, and highly recommended at any size. And we only produce about 1,500 barrels a year.
Okay.
But yet we have a centrifuge that we run every single beer through.
Wow.
Well, except the lagers, they sit for long enough to clarify. But other than that, even the stouts and the hazies and everything, we're running through this centrifuge.
That's interesting that you, accept our lagers. Most breweries would say the exact opposite.
Yeah.
Well, we run all our lagers through the centrifuge. But yeah, that's fast. Did you know before you purchased a centrifuge that you could and would be doing hazy beers with it?
Got the idea from Other Half. They ran all their beers through it. And you run through it and go onto the bright tank, carb it up, keg it, package it, and sell it right away.
Yeah.
And so initially I had that reaction that you did, blew my mind. You could do that. All right, let's go.
Let's do it. Yeah. And saving 4 days or whatever on a beer is a ton of money for a brewery your size. Yeah.
Times every brewer, times every tank, times however many per year. It opened up a couple turns per tank per year. Yeah.
That's great. And when I was just there the other day, you guys are kind of at capacity, right? Like you're having to really ramp up to keep up with demand again.
Yeah, definitely. Tap rooms, I want to say, busier than ever now that we have our semi-legal patio that we're keeping as long as we can.
Yep.
All I heard was legal.
Yep, that's right.
Yep, totally legal.
It's really cool, too.
I mean,
I've
it is
sat in
for
it.
now. They're trying to get rid of it, but that's another thing. Also, we're working on getting our second location, which is a restaurant tap room, open later this summer.
Oh, nice.
And so we're kind of gearing up to prepare to feed that with beer.
In Rockland?
In
Also-
Roseville, real close, like 10 minutes away from the brewery.
Okay.
So we partnered with a local restaurant group who's going to handle the food. We'll serve all of our beer and a few guest taps.
Yeah.
And it'll just be another outlet for us.
That's fantastic. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
thank you.
Yeah,
That's
it's
great.
pretty exciting.
And
So,
how far along do you say maybe later this year? Or
it took forever to get going. Now that it's actually under construction, I think we're going to do all right.
Okay.
It's moving quickly, and we're on target, I believe, for maybe July.
Okay. Now, did you guys suffer, a lot of changes through the pandemic too? Did beer sales drop a lot, or was that just sort of the initial thing and then you guys got right back to it?
We definitely had some tough months.
Okay.
We had to do a lot of pivoting. We were shipping pallets of beer direct to consumer for a couple months there.
Okay.
Tap room was open, and then it was closed, and then it was open, except we had to serve hot dogs with every tab.
Yes.
It was a
Right.
great time.
Here's your hot dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're back to pretty much normal again.
Okay.
As far as the tap room goes,
Yeah.
and that's been a relief.
That's good. And you guys usually just have like a food truck outside right now. I've seen that several times. And then a tap room. So you don't do any of your own food right
No,
now.
thank God.
Yeah. And you're smart to not do it with the next place too. You partner with somebody else to provide that.
Yep, we've got a restaurant that we respect a lot, and we went into business with them, and they're going to
perfect.
handle all the food aspects. We're going to handle all the beer, and we're really looking forward to it.
That's great. Yeah, because having a kitchen, Sully, is just awesome, isn't it?
Well, it can be.
Yeah, right.
It can also be incredibly
It
challenging.
can also be challenging.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially during all
If you
of
do
this.
beer and you do it well, you should just stick to that. And
Yeah.
then, and the model is for, food trucks and, outside vendors coming in. So
Yeah, I've been in the restaurant business, and I'm good.
Yeah.
And what that having the restaurant in there allows us to do is bring in guest hops from time to time. So we're looking to bring in our collaborators. When we have people come over and collaborate, we can go over to the tap room where we're going to call the Moksa Barrel House.
Nice.
It's going to house some of the no production there, but it's going to house a lot of the barrels so we can fill up more.
Yeah.
And hopefully have some tap takeovers that are unique to the area that no one else can get, because these are our friends from around the country, the world that are coming in, and hey, just send some kegs over so people can try, or like we can tease them out with, hey, we're have this collaboration, but they've never tried your beer.
Right.
So bring your beer in the area. It's maybe pair it up with some food and have our customers get this additional experience beyond the collaboration that will come out in a few weeks.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. MoksaBrewing.com. I assume it'll be the place to keep update about that, right? You guys will post.
Mainly the social media is a little bit more
Okay.
active. That the website's more of like what's on tap and the descriptions for that. But as far as the events and more elaborate, detailed descriptions, you want to follow the social media
Okay.
pages.
Just search Moksa.
Yep, Moksa Brewing.
All right, I'm going to take one more sip of my tail dust, but then I want to know about the next beer in our glass, which is Superfluous, right?
Correct.
Clearly, you got it on Word Hippo or whatever it's called.
This is one
I
of
think
those.
that is true.
Yeah. Yeah, tell us about that beer.
So Superfluous, it's made for our members, which we have a membership of about 260 people, and they get exclusive beers throughout the year. Last year, the current membership ends at the end of next month, but they received 5 exclusive beers, this being one of them, this being one of their non-barrel age offerings. And what it is it's an imperial stout, but we conditioned it post-fermentation on vanilla, which we always do, and then coffee and cacao at a colder temperature. We work with a local cacao roaster, a chocolatier, Crew Chocolate. They make chocolate like these the best chocolate ever. They make it out of their house legally.
Yeah, wow.
They have their business out of their house.
Good addition.
And their chocolate bars are great. They're $15, so they're pretty expensive, but they're high end.
Yeah.
And that's what we want in our beer. We want to work with the best vendors possible, whether they're local or not. It's just a bonus if they are local. Moksa Coffee is the coffee roaster that we work almost exclusively with, and they're down in San Diego. They just their head roaster just got he won a competition to be the U.S. best head, or he won the head roaster of the year.
Wow. For
the U.S. and will go on to Italy to compete and represent the state. So yeah, they're a really like-minded group of business people where they just want to produce the best things possible. And so we like teaming up with people like that. And that goes the same thing with the restaurant that we're partnering up with. We're want to take to the next level the creativity, the effort, the passion, and put it out into what we do best.
Yeah. Well, that beer is an example of what you do best. And before I comment on all of it, I was going to answer this question myself, but I want to ask you, what style of beers do you think your Moksa is most known for? Like, what do you get most of the hype for?
I say the stouts, right? The stouts have to be the most.
Okay.
No question.
So that's what I was going to answer. But the reason I left it to you is because I think that your hazies are more popular than I thought too. Like, people really love your hazy IPAs.
That's what we produce the most of.
It is.
So that's as far as local customers, you're going to see the hazies more than the stouts. But as far as just the overall recognition, I think people know us more for the stouts because that's what they're trading for. That's what they're traveling to our tap room to taste at least a couple of those.
Right.
And then IPAs. But yeah, we brew mainly IPAs.
What's funny too, for our listeners out there and those of your fans who travel to have that beer, is every time I travel to Moksa, I order your lager. Yeah. Like almost every time the first thing, because you also make, to me, great lagers.
Thank you.
And then you'll always give me a West Coast something, right? Just because you know that about me. But I don't think I've never heard someone go, oh man, you got to go to Moksa for their lager. But that's exactly what I would say to somebody.
Wow.
Yeah, not yet. We hear it sometimes, but we're hopefully we got a few in the tank and one on tap, and we're definitely going to keep them on the board because we personally like drinking them.
Right.
West Coast IPA. So those are always going to stay on the board as much as we can.
Yeah.
But we also are a business, so we got to make all the other stuff.
Got to play the hits.
It's really fun making. I think we put a lot of effort into the hazies and the stouts because we feel like we are very progressive and creating that. It's also challenging because there's competition in those styles as we're in that space.
Yeah.
That these people are coming out with these incredibly tasting stouts and hazy IPAs, and we have to compete. So a lot of effort does go into that, and just, I guess, all the beers. Right?
But you do stand out with these.
Are you seeing like more of an interest in West Coast IPAs though? Like, it's sort of ticking the other direction a little bit. I just talked to some other owners, and I just see like hazies, of course, are hugely popular, but it seems like there's more of an interest in more of a clear West Coast style IPA.
We've always, I think, personally preferred the West Coast. And so we kept making them no matter what since day one. We're finally starting to see the return. Hazies are taking a small dip. West Coast IPAs and clear, lighter beers are picking up again. And it's exciting. It allows us to make more of them and keep them selling.
And it's mainly on draft. People are coming out more. Back out, that's what their preference is to have a light lager or a West Coast IPA or just a single IPAs in general. But we've seen a lot of increase in the demand for clear beers.
I think it's because the hipsters aren't coming out again yet. They're not ready. So you're seeing like the people that are like, I ain't sitting at home anymore, and we like clear beer.
Well, you hear about the whole lager, change that's happening right now. So I'm just kind of curious what you're seeing out there. I mean, we're seeing a little bit of that, in the Bay Area, close to home here, but it sounds like that's happening in some ways.
Yeah.
I had a very hard time finding a hop for our Hellas. It took me months to find it, and I was like, oh, people are brewing lagers again. And it's kind of screwing us, so we ended up contracting a little bit.
We had a hell of a time finding Saaz and Hallertau Middle Fruit last year.
That's crazy.
Never expected it.
Right. It's like, damn it. We can't win just when we think let's buy some Hallertau. It'd be easy.
Right? Yeah, I'm sure there's multiple, everywhere they're selling it now.
Wow.
It's like everyone's sold out across the board.
That's wild.
So to me, what makes your, is this a pastry stout? Is that what people call this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
model after like kind of like a mocha type beer.
Yeah. What stands out about your beers like this to me is they're more like rich and sweet in general than I would ever order.
Yeah, this is like
okay, but yours does something. Yours somehow doesn't stick around on the palate as long. It still so I get all that richness up front, which is delicious for up front. And what I generally don't enjoy about the beer is when it just really kind of sticks around, right? So I'll have that one sip and I'll go, great, that was wonderful, and you can finish it. But yours still somehow find a way to not be cloying and not just destroy my palate, so I can enjoy some sweetness if it disappears. Yours doesn't disappear. That's probably not the right. But I love the richness because it doesn't
like the
finish is clean. Exactly.
Or, so you want to stack up on my palate.
Or you want to. So you want to have another one. That's the ultimate goal of any beer that you're pouring.
Or another sip. You know. You want to keep sipping.
I mean, it's amazing. It's got the super rich, like bittersweet, like chocolate. I mean, it's the super complex dark chocolate. And then you're right. It just drops right off.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
The chocolate is fantastic.
It smells amazing.
Yeah, that chocolate is great.
Yeah. I think you're right to pick these finest ingredients, right? Not just, oh, hey, we're going to find some whatever. Just put some chocolate powder in there. It tastes like chocolate. We're fine.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not saying all brewers do that, but I think sourcing out exactly what you're looking for makes a difference.
Yeah, and especially when we have this approach to this, it's a lot of things go into these styles because there's a lot of ingredients that interplay with one another. So it starts with the base recipe, which we know what's going into it afterwards. So we have to balance that out. Cacao has, in coffee, they have a lot of cutting elements. They're bitter, they're roasty. So we leave out a little roast on the base malt. Vanilla, which we always add because we think it really brings things together and kind of elevates everything all at once. And also just there's still not just a ton of sweetness in there. There's still some bitterness. There's still, which we get from multiple ingredients, not only the roasted malt, but also hops and cacao and the coffee. But we just think about how can we make this drinkable at this higher ABV. So we have these cutting and sweetening elements that we kind of interplay to make a drinkable beer.
What are the hops?
Just, I think, Warrior these days. Just bittering. It doesn't matter.
German hops they can't get.
Just some. Yeah,
it's all middle fruit.
Yeah.
That's where it went.
Yeah.
I like to think about these beers as like balance, but like brewing a Pilsner, they got subtle maltiness and a little bit of hops just to balance it out. These stouts are like, it's all balanced, but it's all at 11. And so you can have that intensity, but as long as there's intensity coming at you from all directions, it feels like a balanced beer. And it blows my mind when somebody takes a sip of stout and says, oh, it's not sweet. It's so balanced. I'm like, well, no, it's super sweet.
Yes. But you're saying what I was trying to say, actually. And I didn't know, because balanced just isn't a word that I would often think about with this style because it has so much complexity and so much going on. But that is what I was thinking about. One of the reasons that it's easy on my palate is that it's balanced. I am picking up chocolate. I am picking up coffee. I'm not picking up vanilla, but I like the way you describe it as this elevator of everything else. Jay from the Rare Barrel used to say that about, or does say that about Brettanomyces. Like he's even in his very sour beers, they all have a little bit of Brett because the Brett does like the hard work to make everything sort of shine. And it sounds like that's your vanilla in these.
And that's what we think with vanilla. If you add it by itself, where it's just a vanilla beer, you'll taste vanilla.
Right.
But if you add vanilla with other ingredients, it kind of just brings everything in harmony.
Right.
And we actually source our vanilla beans from a local supplier as well, which is a nice bonus. And he has 15, 20 different varieties to choose from. And we use it for non-barrel age or barrel age or interplaying with different ingredients. So we have a lot of options when it comes to vanilla, the different origins of coffee, the different origins of cacao. And that's what we've been getting into the last couple of years was really diving deeper into the ingredients that we use of the different roast levels of coffee, the different origins, the different nuances that comes out. Even though it's just coffee, there are a plethora of different varieties that you can choose from and interplay with different ingredients.
And is this in a barrel at all too? Or
this was not.
So just stainless. And do most of the ingredients go into the stainless or they go into the mash? Where are you?
We have a custom made treatment vessel that we add, that we recirculate our beers through. But the thing is, we have that vessel, but also the time, temperature, and dosing rate are all different depending on the ingredients that we're using.
Okay.
So, for example, with this, after the beer is fermenting, we centrifuge it into a bright tank, and then we run it through vanilla for about a week or so.
All right.
Warm, like room temperature, 70 degrees. And then we chill that down to 38. And then we add the coffee and cacao to that treatment vessel and recirculate that from anywhere between 4 and I would say 18 hours. And by doing that, hooking it up to the tank, you can kind of taste as you go like a chef. So you could taste as you go, oh, this is too chocolatey, it's too bitter. So we want to cut that coffee and the chocolate before it gets too bitter and you're over extracting it to where you're just getting the flavor versus all the other unwanted elements of it.
See, this was the tasty method of adding fruit or extracts or whatever to his homebrew. He always told folks, like, he was just a big fan of using drops. Yep. Like, not with everything. He used some like pure ingredients too, but if he was going to do like a peach, whatever, he was a fan of just adding drops afterward because you could control it. You could know when it's going to be too much. And I was always thinking like, well, that's perfect for homebrewers, but what about on a large scale? So this recirculation that you can taste and stop.
We can pull a sample from a in line and see where it's at. No, let it go 2 more hours, let it go overnight,
and then shut it down.
Or stop it now.
Yeah.
And then we could push the entire beer back into the bright tank and just call it and say, carb it up, we're good.
Right. Oh, that's perfect. And do you kind of have a taste in your mind, or do you just let the beer figure it out for you? Are you like, all right, it's not quite there yet. I had more coffee in my mind. I had more this.
I mean, we always have a goal in mind.
Okay.
We kind of design the beers from the beginning as, we're looking for a big cacao flavor here, balanced with a little vanilla. Of course, nothing ever goes completely to plan.
Right.
But that's where the treatment time comes in. If a beer is maybe not quite as bitter as we thought it would be before treatment, maybe we run the cacao an extra 5 or 6 hours to bring in some of the bitterness from those ingredients.
Okay.
And just there's so many different steps to these beers that there's lots of different ways we can tweak it.
Yeah.
And so we have some options when it comes down to dialing them in.
Sure.
It's like biting into a chocolate bar, like a dark chocolate bar. I mean, it's amazing.
Like a gourmet, like a $20 chocolate bar.
$20 chocolate
I'm not saying
bar.
Reese's over here. Just settle down.
Yeah.
What I noticed though is that I got a huge vanilla hit at the beginning, and now it's sort of like it's fallen off. I've become more like not as prone to it. So, but it's there in the background. But,
and it's an adventure when you as the temperature warms up too. Certain things come out as well.
It's amazing. What did it finish at?
Our stouts finished pretty high. The non-barrel age finished about 12 to 14. Plato is generally what we aim for and what they kind of finish around. And then the barrel age, which we'll get into later, those finish around 20.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah. They're bigger than the original gravity of a double IPA.
That's crazy.
Balanced beers.
Yeah.
Balance. Yeah. As long as it's balanced.
I love balance. That's what I strive for too.
Well, we do have more beer to try. So how about we take a quick break? I'm going to finish this beer in my glass, by the way. It is good.
Yeah, it is.
All right.
Yeah, it is great. And actually, I did have one more question about it. The formats for these, like for this one, you guys serve it on tap at the...
They serve it in a pint glass.
But then bottle, by the pitcher. If you're at Wednesday's pitcher night.
We have a challenge.
But bottles or is how you guys do it.
We generally bottle a certain amount. We sell it. Sells out anywhere between instant and 2 weekends.
But you don't can these.
Correct. All the bottles we put, or all the stouts we put into bottles. We put a nice label on it. We're really proud of all the time and effort that we put into it, and we hand bottle it on this small 4-head bottler. Whereas the cans, I mean, we're bringing in the can van and running through hundreds at a time.
Sure. No, it makes sense. And I've seen your bottles. I have several of them, and some of them you wax as well.
The barrel age and the member beers we wax just to kind of elevate that look to it.
It still works. That'll never go out of style.
Wax.
Wax and the bottle. We'll never go out of styles. But look, I've become a can convert, Sully.
Yeah, that's right. You're welcome.
I'm a full-on can convert.
Well, so is the rest of the country, by the way.
Yeah, you're right. And I'm also always the slowest one in the room. But the bottle format's never going away.
Yeah, you want to bring something to a party or something like that, or an event, and it's like,
yeah,
it's or trade it.
It stands out.
Sure.
Yeah.
If there weren't the stigma or that against cans, I think we might can them, but it's just different.
Just don't wax the can.
Doesn't compare.
Right. Don't wax the can. I saw a brewery do that once.
Oh, you did?
And it might be friends of mine. I don't know who it was, but I was
God.
I saw like it was just like, what? Don't do that.
I have a hard enough time with the wax on the bottle.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I'm still, and I say that too because I'm surprised, and I've seen it in both pro competitions. It sounds like maybe you guys do it, and homebrew competitions, when cans show up at the homebrew competition. Because I'm taught old school by guys like Dan Gordon and even Vinny, and they say just things like, okay, the can's fine, but it as like an oxygen barrier and other things, it's just inferior to the bottle. And I just have it's like been drilled into me over the years. So when I see cans show up at competition, I'm like, maybe you gave yourself like a leg down. I've now in homebrew competition. Oh wow! Because like at More Beer, you can buy a crowler now. You can buy buy small format cans or the 16 ounce still. But
you need very expensive equipment to fill a can without oxygen. So I don't know if that's available, but maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe
homebrewers, right? So so I'm surprised about the homebrewers doing it, and so maybe the ones I see in pro competitions have these Crohn's and
KHS.
Yeah. Is that what you have?
That's what we have.
Yeah, okay. Yours is gnarly too. You guys should go to 2NA. The San Leandro facility, it's pretty impressive.
I would love to.
The canning line is like nothing else. I mean, you go through, it's something else. It takes up the entire building.
I appreciate that, but I'm so impressed with these beers right now. I mean, I want to make the stout. I want to make that hazy IPA. I mean, I know the folks from Berkeley East. I mean, they're
like down the street from you.
Yeah, exactly. Basically. They're just not too far away. So, I mean, they're good folks. Mm-hmm. Now, this is exciting. It's great meeting you all.
All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we've got more to try, including an Elijah Craig barrel-aged beer, right?
Oh, yeah.
Is that what we have? I feel like, and we have that on tap here at the Hop Grenade. I think that's pretty exclusive.
Oh, no, we don't really send that out. Just we keep it at home, and then for special events like this.
It's exclusive.
This one. So I think you should come down to the Hop Grenade this week and check it out. We'll be right back. You're listening to The Session. Welcome back to The Session. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. We are still sitting here talking beer, drinking beer with Moksa. I think the microphones might be on at the break if you're on Facebook.
Oh, boy.
No, which is cool. I've always been a stickler about that. But people have always said, I want to know what the conversations are off air. And I'm listening to us talk beer right now. And I'm like, wow, that's pretty good, actually. We should have just not even. Yeah, well, just
it's for your Patreon.
Maybe from now on, I'll just leave it rolling.
You got to say that it's happening, though, because I might get sued.
I know, yeah. True.
I got to have a conversation with a lawyer in the morning.
Well, right now, they'd have to try hard because there's music playing over it at the same time. So it probably just sound like something like that. This new mixing board's throwing me curveballs.
I think what he said was Moksa and the 2NA are going to do a watermelon wheat collaboration. I'll put it in a slushy machine.
In the slushy machine. Slushy only.
Yeah. With cacao nibs.
Exactly. That's good.
So I just want to dive right into this next beer because it's a very special beer. I'm so thankful that you sent it to us, Derek and Corey. That's really nice of you guys. But it is an Elijah Craig barrel-aged beer. Mm-hmm. This one is called, what is it called?
Elijah's Creed.
Elijah's Creed. Yeah. So tell us about the beer. And then I just want to know why you chose that barrel and yeah.
Well, this beer was our collaboration with Toppling Goliath.
Okay.
So Mike over there at Toppling Goliath was actually the one who suggested these particular barrels. I think Elijah Craig, 12 to 14 year or something like that. And so, it's all right. We'll use them for our collab. We brewed an excessively strong base stout.
Which aged, was what? What does that mean? Excessively strong?
Long boil, higher gravity, just designed for extended aging.
What basically was the gravity? Do you remember?
38.
Okay.
39.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And then probably going into barrels somewhere around 20.
Wow. Okay.
And a beer like that is just not drinkable fresh. But after a couple of years in the barrel, magical things happen, and it really comes around. The spirits come in, the intensity mellows out, and it all comes together.
Yeah. Wow. So, yeah. So this has been in the barrel for 2 years. I was saying a couple.
I think 24 months.
Okay.
23 months in Elijah Craig 11-year-old barrels from Mike's barrel guy over in the Midwest. But with these ones, we put them in so sweet, but that allows it to cater towards extended aging.
Okay.
To where the barrel won't overtake a beer because it's so robust, so big, so sweet. And you're able over that amount of time to bring out all these characters beyond just like the oak, the like kind of sawdust flavors, cedar characteristics. You're bringing out the vanilla, the coconut, all the nuances of these older barrels, which is what we favor. We favor 10 plus old barrels because even though a lot of people say, oh, the barrel's spent, everything was taken out by the spirit that was in there. The liquid of beer actually digs deeper into the staves. I learned this from like a super old CBC talk by Anheuser-Busch, and they're showing how the beer can go deeper than the spirits into the staves. So it's pulling out things that would otherwise not be touched by the spirits.
Right.
You just got to give it some time. So we're a big fan of the extended barrel aging. So we don't even test the barrels till like 17, 18 months. We don't taste them. We don't punch a hole in them or a nail in them yet. And then our sweet spot's about 20, 22, 23 months.
Wow.
And that's just because of how robust and sweet our 6 to 28 hour boil base stouts are going into
6
the
hours.
barrels.
What did you say? 6 hours? What did you say?
For barrel age, we go
6 to 28.
6 to 28.
It sounds like when I told my doctor how many beers I drink in a day, and I was like, I don't know, anywhere from 6 to 28. This is your boil.
Yeah.
Who's up for that one? Who's doing the 3 a.m. shift?
Yeah.
Fortunately, Corey built something so we didn't have to stay overnight, and he would kind of monitor a boil over.
Wow. I built this little thing that would shoot a laser down at the boil, and when the foam crept up too far, it would trigger some cold water through the spray ball for a couple seconds and knock it down. And so we trusted that enough to go home for the night.
Yeah, we got to sleep.
And it worked.
I think I remember this from your last show, and I'm still astonished. Like I'm hearing it for the first time.
So we brought that beer.
Yeah.
If you want to try it, it took 3 years to make.
Oh my God.
And so we were probably telling you stories for the last 3 years, and finally produced it a couple months ago.
And you brought it here?
Yeah, that's that bottle that we brought.
Oh, we're trying that.
Oh,
okay.
yeah, for sure.
If you put it that way, yeah.
There's a lot going into that. And we're super proud of how it came out. And fortunately, after all that effort and 37 months in the barrel, we think we produced one of the best beers that we could have.
Wow.
We mashed in, boiled it all day long, went home, came the next morning, mashed in again, and topped it off. Continued boiling. And
oh my God.
When I mentioned those beers that are undrinkable fresh, that topped the chart.
Yeah.
It was awful.
Well, and even this one, I was thinking about that. The way you talk about how sweet it has to be going into the barrel, I wasn't thinking undrinkable. I was thinking terrifying. Like if I'm a brewer and you taste it right then, you're like, oh shit, we might have overdone this.
You might even like get in your head and be like, I don't want to. We can't do. We got to dump this thing. This is ridiculous.
Yeah,
No,
but you had the perseverance and of mind, like just leave it alone, put it in the barrel, and just move on.
It's so boozy, so sweet, so concentrated, so roasty. It's just let it mellow out.
Yeah.
For a very, very long time.
And you did this 2 years ago? Is that right?
This particular, this Elijah's Creed. So it's kind of a mashup of our base stout and Topping Goliath's base stout. One of them being Assassin. So that's where it kind of came from, a play off of the video game. But
nice,
Elijah's Creed for Elijah Craig barrels, and collaboration with Topping Goliath. And we just let this rest until it was ready. And I remember Mike texting occasionally, like, so that beer that we brewed like 2 years ago is
any word? Yeah.
Not yet.
Like the start of the pandemic.
Okay.
Right.
Just like literally, this is it. And then you were like, all right, I'll see you in 2 years. And when it's over.
Right. Yeah. The beer's still wearing a mask. Leave us alone.
Yeah. And
we put a lot of beer
I'll let you know
barrels.
when we taste it.
During the pandemic, we filled a ton of barrels.
That was,
really?
Yeah, because we didn't want to stop brewing. We have demand. We have space. Well, we don't have space for barrels, but we continue to fill barrels.
Figure it out, yeah.
Because that was the investment for the future. And now we could finally come out with one about every month or so. This one being released, I believe, last month. And we didn't want to mess with this. After tasting this, it didn't need any extra treatment. It was a showcase of the barrel and time and, collaboration and what we can do just by oak.
So I like the comments that you made about barrels and how that the regular flavors can be stripped out unless we go deeper into the barrel. But as you were speaking about it, is I kind of got fed up with barrel beers in general because it was like, oh, okay, I taste the oak again. I get it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I get that little vanilla. Oh, I get the tannin. Like, I get it. And for a little while for me, they just kind of got like, you put beer in a barrel and it comes out like this.
You're scraping your tongue.
Okay, but yours is different. And I think probably because of the beast of a beer that you put in there. Mm-hmm. Because now I do get like the nuances of a barrel instead of just tasting tannin oak.
Yeah, just there's more complex. It's more like melded versus just the specific like characteristics of what you were talking about. So.
Right. Which, by the way, and I enjoy tannins. If I drink wine, I like it to be tannic.
But you don't want it to be like there.
Yeah.
You want it to be part of the whole experience.
Yeah. And so this beer, and this one, by the way, still tastes sweeter than even the last one.
Oh, yeah.
Right. But it still has a ton of complexity from the wood, which if you're saying you're trying to showcase that barrel, I think you did. Not that I could have picked out like, oh, that's Elijah Craig. Like I wouldn't have done that, right?
Oh, some people.
Come on,
some of our customers think they can too.
Do they really?
I really taste Elijah Craig.
And you're like, okay.
And you're like, good, pat him on the back.
Yeah, of course.
Like, yeah, you totally do.
And buy a couple bottles and go home.
Yeah. Right.
But with our beers, they're super huge going in, and we also taste every quarter to see how we can blend them as well. So when you talk about tannins, there's a lot of barrels that have an overly tannic character to it. But so we want to blend it with something that will balance that out.
Sure.
And this was a good example because our goal was to not treat it with anything. We wanted to showcase the barrels in our base recipe. And so we had, I think, about 6 or 7 barrels to choose from, and we chose 4 of them to blend together that we thought would be the best final product as a blend.
And still, though, when you say you taste them every quarter, you still don't even do that for 18 months or something.
It's the ones that are
then
ready.
You start tasting.
They're not tasting everything every quarter.
Yeah,
just the ones that are could be possibly put on the schedule to be processed.
It's like your monks.
Yeah.
Just like, we'll wait.
Right, yeah.
Well, we'll taste them on Good Friday.
I do think the other advantage of that is that this tastes like a fresh beer to me. There's no oxidation. I'm not getting cardboard. I'm not getting
not at all.
Or like that kind of. Sometimes I actually really like it. That like musty basement.
It's also kind of an aspirin character sometimes to beers like this, and you don't get that at all.
No, it actually could. You could tell me this is a fresh beer too. And other than the nuances of the barrel, I'd be like, yeah, of course it is. Tastes fresh. So that's
I love
nice.
it.
Yeah, it's your jam.
It's my jam.
Thanks, Steph.
Yeah, people likes it. Yeah, it's just awesome.
Yeah, this is great.
All right, so this other beer now.
This other one.
That's what we hinted towards.
Well, because that's what I have to. Now that I know that it's the one that we talked about at the first time around.
It's got wax on it.
So this beer is 4 years old. Then
almost.
Okay,
let's say 4 years old for the show.
At least 4 years old.
Yeah. And this was also the prototype of your "We Get to Go Home Tonight" system, laser beer system.
Finally, the beer.
His laser guided beer system over here that Corey made.
So this is it's a collaboration with Weldworks. We got buddies over at Greeley, Colorado, and their big thing. They make some big, bold stouts, and it's like, hey, yeah, we want to come over. Let's make a beer. Let's have a lot of with our collaborators. We want a lot of influence from our guest breweries just to provide a variety and a difference than our beers for our customers. And their big thing is super long boil, but I didn't know exactly how long until I asked. And they were like, I was like, how long do you boil? I was like, 30 hours. Cool.
Wow.
All right. Well, I promised I said I would, do it. So I'm going to spend the night. And fortunately, Corey built something to where we didn't have to do that. So this is it's a double mash boiled for 28 hours, aged 22 months in apple brandy barrels. And then we transferred all of it into Thomas H. Handy rye whiskey barrels for 15 more months. Finished it on a pound per barrel of vanilla, Ugandan vanilla, and a pound per gallon of raw coconut.
Wow.
So it's heavily. It's
a pound per gallon of raw coconut. All right, I haven't tasted
This
it
is
yet.
insane.
Right?
I mean, your description was even insaner.
And also,
are fun to make.
We haven't talked about this part of it, but in listening to you and the ingredients and where you get them from, I feel like the 4 ounces that are in my hand is like $100 glass of beer. Like if you got your markup, it's like it must be crazy.
I'm trading this right now with somebody in Australia, and he's giving me $500.
Quick, put a cap on the rest of that bottle.
No,
even a half a bottle.
You have a vial in your pocket that you're just gonna,
I know people that do that.
Pour. Yeah. We're gonna see it on my beer collectibles or my
What's
beer.
Sean
cylinder.
doing trading beer?
Yeah.
1 ounce samples, like a urine.
Right, yeah. Either times are tough or that bottle's just really good.
Yeah, so this is what we released during our anniversary weekend. It's called Midnight Abundance, and it's kind of a collaboration between their Medianoche, which is midnight, and our Super Abundance, which is a barrel-aged stout that was treated with coconut and vanilla. So we just figured Midnight Abundance is how we put it together.
So the coconut is just like, it's perfect. It is such
like a candy bar, but like barrel-aged.
Yeah, that part of it is just the exact right amount of coconut.
As it warms up, you get hints of the apple brandy as well. I don't know
Okay.
if that's going to be the power suggestion, but
that's all right.
That's fine. We could use that.
Yeah. But we feel like we added complexity by adding a non-whiskey barrel into the mix.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
legs on this. I mean, look at it. It's just like
It's 18%.
Yeah,
oh, is it? Thank you for saying that. Not to drive home.
Here, do that again.
I know it's just
Sully, right into your camera, right here. I got you on camera for the folks at home.
I haven't been on camera the whole time.
No, just right now. Just putting you on there now.
Yeah, this is
it's
amazing.
It's just sticking right there, right? Like the legs.
It's like
it's tinting the glass.
I want to put this on ice cream or something.
You can watch this on our Facebook page if you're listening to the podcast right now. If you want to see the beers. But yeah, gosh, these are all just really. I'm so glad that these aren't my favorite styles of beers because
It's dangerous.
It's dangerous.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's too much.
Yeah, you'd be like
It's too much alcohol.
It's too much.
What's the percentage on this beer too? Which doesn't taste like it, by the way.
4%.
That's 4%. That's my point. Yeah.
This was 18.
18. Oh my God! Isn't that like a world record or something?
No.
What's Jim Cook up to now? 18.2, like barely above that.
Yeah, what is it?
It's not that much higher than that.
I think the Brewdog guys have the record at like 62.
They froze.
But you could freeze the still over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What we're gonna do here?
Right. Oh yeah, that's something else.
That's nice.
It's definitely. I mean, all of our stouts we consider kind of sippers, but continual sippers to where you want to never taste, but you're not.
No, you're definitely sipping all of these. The size of that bottle is right. What's that?
500 mil.
500 mil. Yeah, that's the right size. You could share it with several people because it is a sipper. And I don't think you don't get tired of it. You just yeah.
It's interesting because it's like it's a lo-fi buzz.
Yeah,
but there's other things going on here.
I love a lo-fi buzz.
You know what I mean? It's not like it's not hitting you. You're not ridiculous. It's just like. Yeah,
it sounds so elegant.
Yeah,
right.
Refined.
Yeah,
it's like a
t-shirt. You on that?
Yeah, you can use that as a beer name. Just give me credit.
Yeah. Also, like I found myself with all of these. It's a weird. As I'm smelling it, the closer it gets to my mouth closes so that I can only do a sip. Like it's almost automatic because it just smells so good. You're like, oh, do not chug.
You're
that.
like a professional.
Don't chug that.
Just your body's saying, don't do what you think. Your mind's doing that. Your body's like, bring it.
Yeah, but no, my body's like, no, sip that.
Hey,
sip
come
that.
on, you've done this before.
You're not allergic to coconut?
It's no. I don't know. Great question. Yeah, why is my throat also closing? But no.
Justin's underneath the table again, but this time for different reasons.
Yeah.
That's nice.
And so you just released this one, or last few months,
a couple months ago.
Anniversary.
Yeah. They just released it. Was what I heard.
Yesterday.
Yeah. So unfortunately,
how much did you make? I mean, how many of those little bottles did you make?
I think this was a blend of four oak barrels.
But then our coconut treatment kind of takes away one of those barrels as far as yield. But we released about
how many cases?
It was like 400 something bottles.
Oh, okay.
And then some on draft. And then We saved the last keg. We have, I think, one keg back at the brewery, and then the last 6 will be poured at their Weldworks Invitational in June.
Oh, nice.
So that's going to be kind of like our showcase piece for our booth. Will be our big collaboration.
What do you charge for this? Because you're not charging enough, by the way. Whatever you're about to say out of your mouth is not enough money.
Right. Yeah.
Because it tastes amazing.
500 milliliter bottle is $40 retail, and if you didn't show up an hour and a half before we opened, you didn't get a bottle.
Wow. Yeah. So it wasn't just members; it was anybody can come get it, but you had to show up early.
Correct. Yeah. The members were allowed to buy one as a perk. They get a lot of pre-sales, and so they were able to buy one, and then the leftovers go over to the public sale, which we always make sure there's a lot for the public.
Yeah.
We still do the lineup thing. We don't have a lot of room, so we just kind of put the pallet out there and just kind of crank through the sales.
Right.
Fortunately, we have a big, huge parking lot with all the other businesses close. Everyone gets to spread out and be safe. If they don't want to be close to somebody, they don't have to be.
Right.
And we pass out wristbands, so everything's kind of numbered, and we just kind of shout out, the 1 through 10, 10 through 20, and
nice.
Just kind of make it a big fun, I guess, party.
Yeah.
People tend to party in the
$40 still isn't enough.
And no, it's definitely not enough.
And that's the highest. It's not like all of our beers are like that.
I understand, but it's still not enough.
It's still, you should.
Well, because
let's talk about this.
One of the things I like about this show, I like that what we've created here is that you get an opportunity to talk about that, because everyone just looks at prices all the time. I do it too, and it happens here in my tap room. But to hear where the ingredients come from you guys, and to hear how long it took, and to hear that it's a collaboration from friends across the, halfway across the country, like every time I hear those new things, like another $10 goes up in my head, that makes it worth it. Like the value is there.
Beer is still an affordable luxury, which is like, we look at it because, there's the other side of it, which is lagers, that are, pretty accessible. But this is a very complex beer. This could be, if you look at the wine world or even the liquor world, I mean, this is like $100 plus.
Yeah,
if this 4-year-old, if this 4-year-old bottle of wine had this amount, this level of
95,
it would be
whatever.
It would be even more than that. It would be so much. Yeah. So I like the opportunity to talk about it, even though like only 5 people.
Thank you. And this is the platform to kind of show what we did to this, because people could see just like the ingredients and the price and be like, that's overpriced to me, but not knowing what the effort it was to go into that.
I bet you lost money on this.
Maybe. Yeah.
But you're like, I don't know.
I mean,
but it's really fun to talk about.
No. It's a marketing opportunity, but I got to tell you, I mean, that's why, where's the price?
I mean,
Okay.
There's stouts that we put over $2,000 worth of vanilla beans alone into, and people see the price tag on the bottle, and that doesn't really compute.
Right.
But we put a lot into these beers.
Sure.
Yeah.
Time and ingredients.
It's the same amount of volume, actually less volume when you use coconut, because it soaks up the liquid, the valuable liquid that we could sell, the product. But with the, when people complain about the price, like this is like,
I don't think they should
crazy
do that at all.
Of what we did.
Yeah.
And, we could charge whatever for it, because we also have, if you complain about price for beer, we have $650 lagers for sale, pints. But if you want that ultra luxury brand, we put the effort to create those, and that's just a whole nother animal.
And I think it's important to do that, and just to stick to your guns. Not, by the way, I'm the one who brought it up. You didn't come in here saying people are complaining about your pricing.
No, I brought it up too.
It's me who thinks about it. It would also, and as a reason to keep doing it too. It's the More Beer guys very early on who taught me. They're like, there is a group of your listener base who doesn't care about spending money on your product. Give them more and they will buy it. They don't care. And so they, at that time, were building these very expensive brew sculptures and all this stuff. And I just was thinking, wow, people are spending on that. And their answer was like, not everybody, but enough people that it is well worth doing what you do.
No, and this is people that buy this. Those are the people that motivate us to keep doing that.
Yeah.
Because if those people didn't exist.
Right.
Our efforts would have gone to waste, but it kind of motivates us to like, all right, can we do this again? What's the next big thing?
$60.
Yeah. The next big thing is $60.
I don't think just give me the idea. Gave us the idea to jack up our prices.
Hey, I hate to make the comparison, but the porta potty guys did it. You can do it.
I was just going to say,
if the ice guy can do it,
the ice
maker.
If
they could charge 4 times for water.
I mean, I'm not trying to drill it down, but I mean, when you look at your story is amazing about how you made this and the presentation and the beer itself. It's just, why would you not?
Yeah. And it's just well worth it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do struggle with that when you don't get to tell your story. Like, you're not going to stand there and tell your story to everybody who wants to pay the $60 to $40, right? So the opportunity to do it, I'm just, I like it.
But the wine world does it, the liquor world does it. They tell the story, they tell you what goes into it, they tell you how rare it is, limited supply, blah blah blah.
Yeah, do you guys promote too your local chocolatier and the local coffee
absolutely.
company? Yeah,
I think we did.
That stuff's super important.
So part of our social media incorporates our vendors and also just education of our processes that we feel are different, not necessarily unique, but different and what we're passionate about. So we'll explain our chocolatier, our vanilla producer, and what they do. So for example, even though it's not in this beer, but it was in Superfluous, but the cacao, Crew Chocolate, they go down to the farms and they work with the farmers directly, buying from them, training them, kind of keeping up to date with their processes.
Yeah.
And also on the recent trip, they brought down one of our bottles to share with the farmers. So the farmers got to try the final product of what their chocolate eventually turned into. Yeah, the cacao.
I want a video of that.
Yeah, we actually posted it recently, and it was just the face on those farmers. They're just like, "What are we tasting right here?"
Heck yeah, that's cool. Oh, I think that's really
Worlds
cool.
Collide. That's awesome.
Yeah.
There's a beer name too, Worlds Collide.
Yeah, there you go.
That one might exist.
Johnny
probably take it.
Yeah.
It probably is, actually.
Well, the beers are delicious. Thank you, gentlemen, for bringing these in.
Thank you, guys.
This has been a real treat.
These are awesome. I have some other bottles that Derek has donated to me that I'm going to share with my staff. Too, we're actually having our Christmas party at the end of this month.
It's April, but
I know. Hey, we do things different around here. And so I'm going to share some of these Moksa beers with them too, because they love all of this stuff. You can go to moksabrewing.com to look up any of them. If you guys can hang out just a few more minutes anyway.
Oh, absolutely.
I got to talk to Sully about some things because I don't know if this happened on air. I can't remember now, an hour ago, but you revealed that you're brewing at the pub.
I'm brewing again. I'm back.
Like, are you the brewer at the pub or you're brewing some?
I kind of am the brewer right now at 563 Second Street, just 2 blocks from Giants Park.
Which I spent a lot of time at.
You have, because you have season tickets now, apparently.
I do, yeah. So, wow.
Yeah.
I love this.
So what happened is that things have been slow, as we all know.
Yeah,
and so usually I travel and go to markets and do which I kind of am still doing. But we've been so slow because a lot of businesses in the area in San Francisco are not open right now. So there's not a lunchtime business.
Okay. Yeah.
And then the Giants, now they're back, but they haven't been.
Right.
And so there hasn't been a huge, amount of load on the brewery there, that we need to make beer.
I see.
And so it didn't warrant having somebody there. So I've been back there, and it's been actually awesome because we opened this place up almost 22 years ago. I mean, look, you can tell the gray hair. And it's been fun getting back in there and doing it. And just so
that's what I was going to ask you. I bet you kind of love it.
Dude, you have no idea.
You don't want to be there for the next 10 years, but you kind of love it, right?
It's not sustainable. I mean, I have a travel schedule that's about to kick up, but I need to get somebody back in there eventually. But it's just been amazing. It's just to get back their hands on. I mean, the reason I got out of my day job when I was before I got into brewing back in the day, before Triple Rock was my first brewing job.
Yeah.
I was working and I wore a suit every day. I was a paralegal, And so, and then it was very hands-on, brewing, physical. And then what happened was, with the success of the company and, distributing to all these different states and all that, is that I now have my own office. And
right. Everything but the suit.
I've created my own, hell in some ways, inadvertently. The funny thing about my office, I think I've told this before on the show, is that I purposely made it uncomfortable. So I had this nice oak, Nico's office is a nice L-shaped wood desk, and I got rid of it, and I went down to this business supply office supply store in Berkeley, and I got this crappy metal principal's desk and put it in there. I don't want it to be comfortable at all. I don't want to be in there.
That's so funny.
So kind of to get back there and kind of brew again, haul out grain. I mean, I'm the guy on the street dumping grain into this, into the compost bin. So
I feel like you should name a beer My Own Hell. You know, because you're back.
But according to the gentleman in the room, it's probably been taken.
Yeah.
Probably a great Hellas name.
Yeah. Yes. There we go.
Hell, yeah, exactly. My own hell list.
I love this. Sully's own hell.
So it's been great. I mean, making hazies. I'm making a saison tomorrow. In fact, I stopped at the Oak Barrel on the way here.
Nice.
To pick up some bags because I'm going to chop up some lemongrass and put in some orange peel into it and all that. And yeah, it's been great.
You're still able to do all the physical labor. You're okay. You're not gonna.
I'm 42. No, it's honestly been amazing. I mean, it's like great to be
so much.
Physical again. Yeah. Lost a bunch of weight.
Wow.
Like just, you Yeah.
So it's just you for now, but the brewery, the production brewery supplies some of the beer for the pub.
Yeah.
Okay. And you're filling it out with just only beer you feel like brewing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm making hazies, I'm making saisons. I made a red, like an American style red.
Nice.
Because I was like, well, whatever.
Yeah. This is great.
Yeah, it's you got to come by and check it out next time you're at a Giants game.
I will. So I was there last week, but I don't know what I ordered. It could have been your beer. It was a pale ale of some kind.
Yeah, it was the Triton Pale Ale, which was
that's what I had.
Which was a fundraising beer for Ukraine.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So my money went to a good place.
It did.
Not to Putin.
We did.
Whatever his name is. That's good. I enjoyed the beer. Did you make that beer?
I like the way Justin said it.
I just want to know.
Did you really?
Yeah,
I did. Yeah, 100%.
So, well, you know me. The first thing I do is I scan for a pale ale.
Yes.
Right. And then I did read, this one's also for a cause. So
yeah. So I was supposed to do a collaboration with Roger.
Okay. Yeah.
From Faction, and then that didn't work out. So I brewed my own.
Just went for it.
Yeah.
It was good.
But Roger's been great because I don't have access to a lot of great, sexy hops like you all have here. I got a lot of middle floor, by the way, but no.
I see some trading in your future.
That's where it all went.
But Roger's got some, he's been a good source because I'm buying a box here, a box there. So it's been great going over there.
Nice.
I mean, honestly, it's been amazing. It's like literally like starting all over again.
I love this.
Yeah.
This is fun.
And actually I'm having that conversation with myself. Like, why did I put that valve there? Why did I put that? I mean, literally like, that was a dumb idea.
Yeah. Yeah. When I went back to work here at the bar after I built it, I was like, man, this place sucks. Why is that sink over there? And why don't you hate me more?
Exactly.
They built a weird place for you to work.
Yeah. Although it's a nice compact brewery.
Yeah.
And it's been good getting back, also Nico and I we're not the other owner. We're not over there a lot. So it's been nice kind of being back there. We have got a new manager there.
Yeah.
Who's actually really experienced. Trick, that's his name. And it's been nice. It's been nice kind of getting it going again and the staff coming back and people being excited and now baseball. So all that's going on.
Yeah, I saw Nico at Spring Brews and we had a little biz talk, about how things are going here, how things are going there.
Yeah.
But one of the things we talked about was baseball. So we're also we're friends, mutual friends with the Arizona Wilderness guys who were on the show not too long ago. And so these guys, the Arizona Wilderness guys, great pub in Gilbert, Arizona. And then they opened this beer garden in Phoenix.
Yes.
A big old beer garden in 2019, which is where where baseball does spring training.
Yep.
Giants and a bunch of other teams do spring training. So they had this awesome 2019 where the beer garden got filled out, and then COVID, right? And baseball gets canceled. And then it's like, oh, it's not canceled, but it's half a season and no one can come.
Yep.
And so they're sitting on this big piece of like downtown property and they're getting beat up by COVID like the rest of us. And then 2022 rolls around and these fuckers go on strike. These baseball guys, they get locked out. Now the owners are fighting with the players and half of spring training gets canceled. Yep. And I think about now I'm such a big baseball fan right now. It's like, it's what I do to
you said that
keep my sanity. So like, I don't like the off season anymore. I really needed baseball to come back. So I was already upset, but I go thinking about you guys and I'm like, oh, my friends at Arizona Wilderness, COVID's supposed to be over or whatever, or at least we're supposed to be open again. And here we just keep getting another dagger thrown at us. So baseball goes on strike. Their beer garden's empty. And then I think about you guys, right? Same thing. And luckily, like the home opener didn't get moved. Nope. Like you guys just out of the skin of your teeth, right? The home opener doesn't get moved. Yep. And I just remember I was sitting at home watching baseball, watching spring training, thinking about you guys going, these fuckers. It keeps being another thing.
Well, it seemingly is, but it's honestly, it's definitely not. It's different than what it was back in 2000 when we opened, because we opened when there wasn't a lot going on in that neighborhood.
Right.
Now the businesses are coming back. Now we're seeing more and more people coming out, and also in San Leandro, there are a tap room as well. And then now baseball's here. So it's been, it's coming back around. I feel like we're just right there.
Well, you've got a more, so I'm still positive about it, but I do feel the slow trickle, right? I feel like it's trickling back, but it does still feel to me like there just keeps being another little thing thrown at you. Like, okay, for example, this war that we just mentioned, right? Like just when things couldn't, you're like, all right, the next variant's sort of going away. The vaccines are going up. Oh, how about hyperinflation due to a war?
Yep.
And so I still have, I'm remaining optimistic. Don't get me wrong.
You have to be an eternal optimist.
And I'm doing that. But it does sometimes feel like, okay, it's enough already, right?
It is enough.
What happened to the roaring 20s we were supposed to have after COVID, right? Like, oh, don't worry. Everyone's going to go out. They're going to spend all their money. It's going to be fantastic. Well, I was just waiting for that to happen.
Well, there's one little great little fun thing that when you listen to the Giants on the radio on KNBR,
love it,
and they come around to the 21st out, guess who sponsors that?
Oh, I did hear your ad on the radio.
The 21st Amendment, the 21st out is sponsored by the 21st Amendment.
That's
at
right.
563 2nd Street.
I did hear that. Who came up with that for you?
It was the marketing group.
At KNBR or your own marketing group?
Our own marketing group. I think it was Randy Griggs might have come up with it.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't give him enough credit.
He's not with us anymore. But,
what?
No.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Randy
He's a good
Griggs, I think he took my class in San Diego State. I taught a marketing class. I think he took it. The name sounds super familiar.
He's taken a lot of class. He's been around the Brewing Network a bunch too. So I didn't know. I will talk about that off the air.
Okay.
I did hear your ad on there. I was like, look at Sully go back on the radio.
Well, it's not me saying it, but
no, but still,
we're still on
but
the radio.
2NA's back on the radio.
Yeah.
They don't give you tickets to the game for that or anything?
Actually, it's funny they do.
So when are we going?
Well, this is okay. Real quick.
When are you taking me and the Moksa boys to a baseball game?
You just feed me this Elijah Craig, and it's anything's going to happen tonight. My lo-fi buzz is happening right now, boys.
Yeah, there you go.
No, it's
now a hi-fi buzz.
It might be exactly.
Yeah.
No, so it's funny because I went to opening day and then they offered me tickets to their suite, KNVR suite, the next day, and I said I can't make it.
Sully!
And actually, I thought to myself, son, 20 years ago, you would have been like all over this.
Yes.
We just recently launched in Hawaii, and I turned that trip down.
Oh.
Now, if we would have turned that, the whole team was out there like a week ago.
Right.
And if you would have told me literally 20 years ago, you can go to Hawaii. We're going to launch your beer. Like, oh, that sounds amazing.
Now
I
can't wait.
I'm like, I can't go. I got to do this thing. I got to do this other thing.
I got to brew.
What the hell happened to me?
What did happen?
Where's the fun?
See, things aren't. See, this is my point. Things aren't back, Sully.
They're not quite back yet.
Quite back. The Sully who was back would have gone to Hawaii.
Nico went
and called me to go to a suite at the Giants game. It's the Sully.
Actually, you're right. I would have left you outside on the ground. Are you going to get home okay, Justin? There's a story there somewhere.
There's probably a story there somewhere. Yeah. So are you there for the whole season? Is that how Giants sponsorship works?
Yeah, we are.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I did hear. I totally forgot.
And if you ever want to go to the KNVR suite, just let me know.
So,
but you have season tickets.
It's a standing invite to the KNBR suite?
I don't know how it worked, but I was told that I can there's options. You can get seats or the suite.
I used to produce their shows.
I don't know if you want to go. I mean, it's like free food and beer. I don't know if you want to do that, though.
It sounds awful. It sounds terrible. Yeah, I'm up in the cheap seats. Don't get me wrong here. My season tickets are just enough to keep me at every game, but not so much. I like bring a sandwich. Like I have a cooler. I bring my food.
Do you really?
You can't go to that many games and spend all the money.
No, you cannot do that.
Beers are $20 or whatever. So I went to I went for 3 weeks last season not knowing that, and then got my credit card bill, and I was like, oh, this is not sustainable. So now I have my little cooler. I bring the food.
Can you leave and get back in, or is it just
no? You can leave to Public House. You can go to Public House.
Okay,
which is just because it's connected,
So you could actually always go down to a better seat, like at a Bruce Springsteen show.
Yes, you can. Yes. Like we've done at
Connecticut.
Like I did at your seat.
Exactly.
See, you're always getting me better seats is the point here.
Tradition will continue.
Yeah, and if it continues at the Giants, this is great. Listen, you can come sit with me in my cheap seat anytime too. But now that we know, now you'll be like, yeah, this is okay. Do you want to go to the suite?
Can we watched one out. Can we go now?
Yeah. Oh, that's the other thing. So people don't I offer my seats that people want to come with me. People don't like coming with me. I'm there from first pitch to last pitch. I don't care what's happening. I want to see the game.
Yeah.
And I'm like, cool, it was nice talking to you. Shut up now.
You're not sociable. You're this guy who talks on the radio all the time, but you're just look, I'm focused right now. You know what's going on?
I'm writing the box score on the. I'm not that guy.
You're keeping score. You're going to be doing that. You're going to be doing that.
It could happen. I can see myself becoming the person who writes down every pitch that ever. Do you guys watch baseball at all?
Yeah,
Moksa boys.
Are you going to be the one? 6-4-3 double.
So I don't think I'm ever going to be that. But I do have a little fantasy game going on my phone at the same time. So I am watching a lot of baseball.
The one where you pass the cup to we put $1 in, next hit, that person keeps the. I don't know if you ever played that.
No, what is this game?
I like that game.
I like it already.
You have a group of people, and then you pass around a hat. You have dollar bills in you, and your batter, you put in $1 into the hat, and if that person on bat gets a hit, you keep what's in the pot.
Oh,
you just keep passing that around.
Oh, I like this game.
The whole game.
Maybe me and my fellow season ticket members up in the cheap seats can play this game. I might have to start this.
Yeah, $1. Yeah,
it's $1, right? That's fine. That's how I play golf. It's $1 a hole. It's no big deal, right?
Are you friends with the people around you?
Not yet. So I missed.
You keep seeing the same people though?
I will. I missed opening weekend.
Okay.
Which is stupid.
Yeah.
But I missed opening weekend, so I've only been to 3 games. But so I'm just starting to see who's the repeats. Because a lot of people just sell their seats,
Yeah.
So you get some randoms in. I was asking, are these your seats? And nobody said
no.
yes.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah. So, but I did last season. I got to know them, but they moved me this season. It's a weird COVID thing. I don't know what happened.
You acted up. Are they better seats?
They're better seats.
Okay, well then you're moving now.
But they're the same price. So what happened was for the first... Aren't beer people care about this. But for the first time ever...
We care about it.
For the first time ever, they let season ticket holders give up a seat. You could skip a season because of COVID.
Yeah.
And not lose your seats.
Okay.
So that's why they were selling these half season tickets for cheap. I got somebody's tickets. But they said, if you want to stay, these ones over here are your permanent seats. And I got them for my dad too. So my dad, he's all on oxygen.
Yep.
And so my permanent seats, there are no stairs. We just wheel him right up to the seat. And he can't do a lot of things, but he likes baseball, and he can sit there and watch baseball and complain about shit. So
sounds like a win-win.
So that's what we do. We sit there and we complain about shit for 9 innings. It's been great.
That's awesome.
And it's that's my sanity right now, because I work a lot. We're focused on this place, just getting everything back.
You have to do stuff like that.
So it used to be golf, right, which I'll play every now and then, but that's just, I don't know, I can't. It's the whole thing. So I take my dad to the baseball game.
You're a good son.
We're doing all right.
Yeah, you're doing all right.
Yeah. All right, you guys too. If you ever want baseball tickets,
all right.
I'll give up.
Or if you want to come with me to the KNBR suite, I'm right over here.
Well, that's what I meant. If you ever want baseball tickets, we're going to call Sully and we're going to go to the KNBR suite.
Let me know. I have Sully's phone.
Yeah.
I don't even know if any of that's true, by the way.
Probably that first game was true.
Yeah,
that's for sure. I mean, you're a sponsor. You haven't cashed in your sponsored ticket.
I don't think I have yet.
All right, let's talk.
All right, we'll talk about it.
I'm going to a game in June, but
I don't
have box seats or anything.
Okay, yeah.
So I'll let you know.
Yeah, in case you want to stop in. Maybe just pop in for a beer and some crab legs.
By,
or whatever.
Oh, hey guys,
I don't know what's going on.
Your beers were great, but sorry, you can't go up here.
Yeah.
Or not.
Yeah. I love it. I wanted to be mad at them too. I wanted to be mad about the strike. I just can't. I don't care. Whatever.
It's over. It was short-lived.
It was short.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just one series was gone.
Yeah.
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 It's going to be okay.
It's going to be fine. All right, well, I'm going to be stopping into the 2-1-A. So that's another thing.
I'll buy you a beer.
So that's another thing that's different to the way things are changing. This year, people are starting to extend their hours again and count on people being around. So I can go to 2-1-A after and you can afford to have the place open. And I definitely see those things changing, right? Even if it's not gangbusters, even if it's not the roaring 20s like everyone said it was going to be, I can see us starting to we just extended our hour. I think we're extending them next week,
That first weekend, with the opening day and then the whatever 4 or 5 games, whatever it is after that. I mean, it was insane.
Yeah, I bet.
I mean, we have not seen that, but it was great because we had the same staff as we had before the shutdown.
Oh, I love that.
And and some new folks, of course. And they're just like they just locked in.
Yeah.
I mean, it was good to see, and everybody was excited. They were waiting for that wave.
Right. So we've had a couple big events like that here, and everyone's just happy about it.
What we're saying is that people need to get out.
People do,
and they need to come to your place and your place.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
At Moksa, and you need to just get it going.
It's time. You can hear everybody complaining about it, like, "Oh, COVID ruined everything." Blah, blah. Okay, no. Do something about it.
Yeah, it's a short-lived thing. The attention span is short, and we need to just and lean into that and get out there again.
It's time to do that.
You need to play like "God Bless America."
I know.
So it'll be the roaring mid-20s.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's what I keep saying. Well, the 20s aren't over yet, and I'm like, all right, well, fuck, they better get going fast because we'll have a good summer. Summer picks up.
Yeah.
It's funny because California doesn't have bad weather or anything, but it does get cool here, cold, and so summer will pick up. We'll have a great summer. But I'll tell you, as a future PSA, do not let another winter like 21 and 22 happen, folks. Get out and support small business and your local restaurants. And it was you have no idea. You read the news. It was a brutal winter for people in the service industry. Yep. So don't let that happen. Omicron was out there. I get it. I'm not blaming anybody. Don't let that happen.
And stop ordering online.
Right?
Unless
it's direct.
I just did it this weekend, by the way.
Yes, but I do it too.
I know.
Unless it's direct.
Yeah.
But
you have to get out. Go out. I know, for me, it was and here we were. I think I'm ranting right now.
Go ahead.
I feel like if you were an introvert during the pandemic, you became more of an introvert. If you were not, you became an introvert.
Right.
If you're, and I think that you just have to realign your thinking on it and get back out there. We're social beasts.
Yeah.
We want to be around each other.
I think that some things are permanently changed, but
I don't believe that at all. I don't believe that at all.
I just think some habits, but they don't have to break. They don't have to be completely different. I think the playoffs are going on out there.
They're outside having fun right now. Did you hear that?
There's 4 people out there having
There's 25 people out there.
There's a lot of people out there. Yeah.
The place is packed.
It is, actually. It's not like it was packed.
For that Elijah Craig barrel.
They are. They're paying $60 a bottle out there for it.
This week I was like, listen, every time you say Moksa, you say Elijah Craig, okay? And all of our promotions, you say Moksa, you say Elijah, all right? That's what people are going to come out for. Not that they wouldn't come out for your smiling faces, guys, but
Yeah, beer's really good. They have to come out here.
Yeah. All right, gentlemen. Well, thank you for coming into the studio and not being afraid to do that. We have HEPA filters everywhere.
Why do you even need one? What's going on?
Everything's fine.
Did you get COVID?
See all that? Yeah, at least once.
I have not had it at all. I've been around people.
You.
My son got, actually, I don't know if I should say that, but he
people close to you.
People on me, breathing on me,
right.
never got it.
Yeah, me either.
I don't understand it. I haven't had any. I have not had any vaccines either. I'm kidding. That's a complete.
That is not
true. Yeah,
that is a bold face.
You're
lie.
as much of a germaphobe as I am, so there's no way.
I've had all of it. I'm going to take them all. They're going to keep giving to me. Yeah, that's. But I have not. I did. Now that I've said it, it's going to happen.
I know, right?
I'm going to call you in 4 days, Justin. Guess what? I can't do the show next week because
he's solo host.
Yeah, yeah. I had it, and I got it I got it during an outdoor multi-day beer festival, but I think I got it from a friend who flew in to go to the festival.
Okay.
But yeah, I had, I'm pretty sure it was Delta. I had back during the Delta wave.
Oh, wow. Old school.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I had old school COVID.
Omicron's like, I had Omicron.
I had Omicron.
It's like a badge of honor. I'm like, Omicron. I had Delta.
I had a sniffle.
I thought I had allergies. I didn't even know I was sick.
Yeah. No, so I had all the symptoms. I had every symptom, and the one that I had every symptom, right? Ugly, like that's one, right?
Yeah.
But the one that lasted the longest was the taste thing, and the weird thing about the taste thing was that it came back kind of slowly, so I could start to taste things. So once I felt better, what's the first thing I do? I grab a beer, right? Like I'm ready for a beer. I've been sick for 5 days. And I was terrified because all I could taste was bitter. I couldn't taste the middle of anything. I could only taste like the extremes.
Sweetness or body.
And so, I was like, and it kept going on. And I was like, fuck, this is kind of my career. If I can't sit here and talk about beer, I'll be even more full of shit than I normally am on this show. Is what I was going to say.
I'll be like, fake it.
At least now I can say a bunch of things to Derek that sound real. But if I couldn't even taste it, I'd be like, wow, that's a really bitter beer, Derek. Really? The Elijah Craig?
This one's bitter too. Damn, your lagers are bitter.
Yeah, everything's so bitter. And I was really afraid of it. And then it came back to,
you were fine.
Well, because you read these things like this person's taste never came back.
Long haul COVID,
and I'm like, oh, I'll be the one guy who, So it wasn't fun having it, but what are you going to do? You're all going to get it. You're going to get it, Sully. It lives with us.
Wait.
It lives with us.
I mean, somebody else in this room hasn't had it either.
No, I've had it.
I mean,
everyone's
probably did.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you're going to get it tomorrow.
I think I might.
I'm not saying you're going to get it next year.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I might have had it, but I tested during the time I thought I had it. I didn't have it.
Right. That's good for you, but you're going to get it.
I'm a rainbow.
But you could have had it and had no idea. Like, I only tested because I was going to go hang out with my in-laws, and I was like, I sneezed a couple times.
Right.
That was the same thing. It inconvenienced me because I had dinner reservations I had to cancel, and that was like the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Right.
You sound like,
I feel fine,
you sound like such a Northern California guy.
Shouldn't go out.
Yeah.
I had dinner reservations.
Right.
My plane was late and I had COVID.
It was really annoying.
Yeah, it was more annoying than anything. Taste went away like partly for one day. It came back, and actually 2 weeks later it came back stronger. I was like smelling things across the brewery.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you got you turned into what is it? I want to say
like
mutant, but
super tasty.
Sure, I'll take that.
you're like a superhero mutant.
So that 1 week in the brewery, you were like, we need to add more of everything. And then afterwards, you're like, whoa,
Yeah,
turn
like,
it down.
Shit, our beer is aromatic.
We did it, guys.
Yeah.
I was like at the bar, and then someone was pouring. I called out the beer that they were pouring because I could smell like the particular hop that they were pouring out, and I was like, "Whoa, never did that before."
It's like pregnancy nose.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm pregnant.
You're pregnant.
Yeah. I didn't have that happen. That's
COVID
scary.
gave me a baby.
Right. You're like, wow,
You had a
this
COVID
disease
baby.
is just wild.
Yeah.
I did have a brewer friend who got it after me too. And she had asked the same thing. She wrote to me. She's like, hey, this tasting isn't coming back. She was scared. She's like, is it going to come back? I was like, just ride it out, man. It's good. You're going to be fine. Just trust me. I don't think you're the 1 in a billion that it never comes back. And sure enough, it came back. But no, it didn't come back stronger. That's for sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It did to me. Fortunately.
Yeah. Hey, exactly. You're like, give me
Otherwise
COVID. Give it to me again.
I want extra dog senses.
Maybe I can even think about recipes better next time. I don't know. Who knows about this weird disease? All right. Well, I want to thank you all again for being here and being in the studio. It's always a pleasure to have you.
Oh, absolutely.
It's a real
Happy to
treat.
be here.
Corey and Derek from Moksa. Go to moksabrewing.com and check it out. Check them out on all their socials so you can find out when the new restaurant and tasting room is opening in Roseville, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's correct. We have a different Instagram and Facebook page for the Barrel House because it has a restaurant. There's going to be a lot of different things going on with the new place.
Okay.
We'll do some co-branding, but there are going to be separate events and releases and things to enjoy at both places. So on social media, we're just on Facebook and Instagram, but Moksa Brewing and then Moksa Barrel House.
Okay. Excellent. Love it. I can't wait. I want to check it out. I like your tap room right now. So it sounds like you guys got good things coming out.
Excellent.
And will we see you all I know I'm going to see you at CBC. Derek, you're speaking at the Craft Brewers Conference.
That's correct. I'm doing a little marketing talk.
Corey, are you you going to the?
Yep, I'll be there.
All right.
I'll be there.
Sully, you're going too?
I'll be judging all your beers.
You're judging?
Yes.
All right.
Remember them.
I thought that was
And
I
the winner
remember what
is
these taste like.
Moksa again and
Yeah.
Justin Crosley.
No. Oh, wrong event. But I will be broadcasting that one too.
Are you
The World Beer Cup.
yeah, World Beer Cup
I'll be broadcasting that. Excited about
in
it.
Minneapolis,
Is that where
Minnesota? Yes.
Yeah, so this is going to be our first World Beer Cup. I mean, 2018,
Oh, right.
we were too new, and then 2020 didn't happen. They either distilled our beer or gave it to their friends. We don't know.
Yeah, right. It just vanished.
Yeah, I think I sent some beer and
We
it was
just
like, where did
couldn't
that
get it
beer
back.
go?
Sorry,
Yeah,
we
doesn't
lost
matter.
it.
Yeah.
How many beers did you enter?
Well, the thing about that is they have so many rounds because it's such a big competition that when you send a beer, you have to send like 18 bottles.
Yeah.
So we're sending 18 of these like 30 something $40 bottles. We're like, we'll pay to bring them back so we can sell them.
Yeah.
And they're like, there's thousands of boxes here. I'll try my best, but probably not.
Right.
Yeah.
They probably had one in his hand drinking it while writing that email.
It tastes really good right now.
Yeah. They're like, if we can find it, it'll be great. It tastes great. And Sully, did you enter?
We didn't enter this year.
Not the World Beer Cup?
No.
The World Beer Cup?
Because of COVID.
I see.
Yeah.
It's like the excuse for
but I'm judging. So I think the reason we have to send so many bottles, I mean, I'm not quite sure if I have this correct, but it's that they all get shipped to Denver, Colorado, and then they send them in separate trucks, like 2 different trucks in case something happens to the truck.
I see.
Like if it gets the preliminary rounds were judged actually near Denver. And then
recently, right?
and then and then the finals are done in Minneapolis.
Okay,
which is where I'll be.
It's where you'll be
judging your beers.
I'm going by myself, Sully. Will you hang out with me?
I will.
I need someone to hang out with me.
I'm not staying at the hotel because I used to travel back there a lot because we contract brewed back there for a bit, or partner brewed, excuse me.
Yes.
So I'll be staying at the Normandy Inn.
Okay.
Which is my usual place back there.
Okay. So,
but we can hang out.
All right. I just want to know that we're going to hang out.
like I'm telling Justin where I'm staying, my hotel room. That sounded really weird.
Yeah. I'm like, cool. I'm going to book the room next door with the adjoining door. Like,
what are you doing over there? What's going on?
It's me. It's Justin. I'm here.
Let's hang out.
I made it. You ready to hang out? Like, I got to sleep for this judging tomorrow. Whatever. I'm right here. If you need anything, Sully, I'm right here. I'm your guy. You okay?
How was judging? Because I always see judges and they look like miserable at the end of the day because they're like, I had to get up. I'm like drinking heavy beers.
Okay, so it's a bit of a job.
I do not want to hang out with you.
You start like at 8:30 in the morning, and you have a break for lunch, and then you do the second half. And usually the judges at the end of it are like, you want a gin and tonic. So you're like usually going to the
something
bar, the Marriott,
cubes.
Something that's really, and usually the folks from anyway. So I don't know if I'm miserable. I just think,
but it's a job.
It's a job. You're writing a lot, and there's a lot of discussion. It's not like it's intense.
They just look like all the judges. They just look tired and they don't want to hang out with me. So that's all like,
when I see you, we'll hang out with you.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, that'll happen.
Sounds like we're all hanging out in Minneapolis.
Yeah, pass Justin off on to.
Yeah.
Do you want to hang out with him?
It's your turn. He wants to hang out with you.
I'm fun to hang out with, Sully.
You are fun. I'm just playing to the joke. Okay, just settle down.
I'm fun guy.
I'm fun guy.
I'm fun guy.
No. That's. I mean, looking forward to seeing you guys there because that's, and also it's back. I mean, it's going to be. It's going to be great. I mean, it's going to be a full CBC, and the trade show is going to be going on as well, which I'm excited about.
Yeah,
like walking around there and seeing, what they have to offer and what they want to sell me.
Oh yeah, now that you're a brewer, you got to go check that stuff out. You're going to buy some cool shit.
I don't know how to respond to that, but yeah, there'll be.
Get yourself a tiny centrifuge for the pub.
I need a tiny centrifuge.
Baby centrifuge.
Do you have a mini one? Do they make mini ones now? They must have different sizes.
I'm pretty sure that's what we have.
Ours is pretty small.
Is it?
I think it's honestly going back to that because I didn't really chime in, but I mean the fact that you have that is really impressive because I think that's one thing that beers like they need to be cleaned up, and I think that what you're doing because I hear like a lot of large breweries will actually do a rough green centrifuge before they dry hop, and that's just to remove
great,
and that's just to remove like all the yeast matter and all this, and then dry hop. And recirculate during that time and actually dry hop within 8 hours, because they're just like circulating constantly and then move it off. So I think it's...
we only dry hop for 24 hours.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah.
But a shit ton of hops for 24 hours.
Yeah.
Right? Like, browsing.
I mean, that is a different...
24 hours, a lot of hops.
What are you doing? Are you like... are you burping? Are you like...
Burping,
to the bottom?
So
I built another thing.
Yeah, Mr. Create a Gadget over here.
Made a laser burper.
I want to talk to Mr. Creative Gadget.
No, he made a rouser that can determine, and we could change interval and duration for our rousing.
Wow.
So you just hook up CO2 to it, and you program it, and then it just blasts all night long.
Wow.
Keeps the hops in suspension.
What about hop creep?
We
don't
try to
believe in
mitigate that by... soft crashing before we dry hop, getting as much yeast out as we can, dry hopping for a very brief period, and then crashing immediately. We also use enzyme to prevent the formation of diacetyl. So we may be playing a little bit with fire there, but we haven't had any problems.
Yeah, so far so good. So once the beer's at terminal, it's just dry hop for a day, crash for a day, centrifuge, and carb it up.
I think that short time, if I had to guess from what I've heard, is probably the biggest factor in limiting hop creep.
Yeah. We've done it on purpose one time when the beer wasn't at our goal terminal gravity. We've purposely hop creeped a beer before. So we have actually understood like the science behind it. And like we try to do it purposely, and then we tried not to do it most of the time.
Wow.
Was that a big old batch you did it purposely? Like, did you dump a batch for that, or you just kind of planned for that?
It was a triple IPA that just slightly above what we wanted. So we hop creeped it on purpose, and which we did just a little bit warmer and just kind of let it go. The next day it was kicking up again and dropped some degrees.
Okay. Smart. You guys are smart.
Have you played with the...
Just change your name to Smart Brewing Company.
It's probably taken.
It's taken.
It's probably taken. Look at source for that one. Have you played with the Berkeley yeast that does the throw diacetyl?
Yeah, but we use ALDC in all of our beers.
Okay.
We dose it with the yeast.
Is that the enzyme?
Yeah, that's the enzyme that prevents the precursor for diacetyl. But with we've used that for our lager strain now, Augustino diacetyl free, so we don't have to add the enzyme. But we were willing to anyway. I mean, we add another enzyme, Clarix, to help.
You repitch off that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think it's going some multiple generations now.
I'm taking notes here from.
I know, but you're ready.
Yeah, let's do it.
You're gonna do a double IPA tomorrow at the pub, aren't you?
No, I'm going to do one of these stouts and put it away for 2 years and do the show with these guys in 2 years.
You do have the world's largest barrel facility potentially, right? So you could.
We haven't really tapped into that, but you know, because we're making watermelon.
So hey,
you could barrel age it.
Look, gotta make that dollar
or a slushy.
Slushy time.
All right, gentlemen.
Have any more beer?
Let's get out of here.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Thank you so much, all of you. Sully, I'm so happy to see you back here.
Dude, I can't believe it. I love you. I've missed you.
I missed you too, man. I was really glad you answered my text, period. And then also said, yes, I'll do the show. Yeah. So that's awesome. Yeah. It's been fun to have you here, and I hope you do it again.
Well, if you invite me back, if I make the cut, I'll gladly come back.
You've made the cut, and you'll see me at the pub if you're there after game time.
Well, I'll be there before, and when I go to my suite and you go to your seat up in like the third level, we can have a conversation.
It's literally the third
level. We'll be walking in. I'll be going in like the club suite area. Like, okay, Justin. I'll be like, I'm just going to the bathroom. Mine's down there, but I'll see celebrities
you later.
with me. I gotta go.
Yeah. All right, Derek, Corey, thanks again for being here.
Thank you.
Go to moksabrewing.com. That was aggressive. Check out everything you need to know over at moksabrewing.com. And we'll see you next time right here on The Session.